Don't work like that. So that's pretty much the topic we got today. She got well. I'm not gonna say she got mad at him. She just was like, you gonna buy me a steak? You buy my kids two steak dinners for my kids at home. He like, no, I'm not. She like, oh yeah, yeah, you is. The sack on this woman. And he really don't. He's taking you out. Just because you're taking a woman out, that don't mean you have to be a a, a financial situation for her kids. And that pretty much leads on to my second topic that somebody sent me. That's funny how these both tie in with each other. So he don't have to do that because if the shoe was on the other foot and he was like, well, you know what, you was late, you know, so now you got to buy my kids some food because you was late. I could have been at home fixing their food. No, correction is you should have did that before you left. You should have fed your kids before you left because you're on a date. You don't know when you're gonna get back. If it's a decent date, then yeah, you will be back in time. But you're supposed to make sure your kids eat before you go anywhere. That's with men and women. So no, I'm just gonna flat out and say no. He don't owe her anything. And if the shoe was on the other foot, she wouldn't owe him anything either. But that's what happened when you got woman privileges because a lot of women was on her side, but a lot of women was like, man, you know what? Just he told her, I'm going to pay for mine, and by me taking you out, I'm going to pay for yours. But I'm not buying your kids no food. I don't care if it was a freaking hamburger. He don't owe this woman any gratitude when it comes to her kids. Those are her kids. She laid down and had those kids without him. So you got to take care of your kids. Now, granted, if he wanted to do it like, well, you know what, man, I got you. Don't even worry about it. That's fine. But always leave the choice open. If he want to do it, he can do it. If he don't want to do it, he ain't got to do nothing. And this isn't the first time. You know, you had there was one on social media when the guy invited the girl out for dinner and she shows up to dinner with like 10 of her friends. And he like, oh, okay, bam, no problem, cool. We want to sit down and eat, we sit down and eat. But when it was over with, she like, you got to pay for me and my friends. He looked at her. He looked at her like, I'm quite sure because the camera wasn't on him, it was on them. I bet he was like, man, you must be crazy. She like, no, these my friends. Correction, there, no, correction, you're right. Those are your friends. So if you bring your friends and I don't know nothing about this and I never agreed, so I'm gonna take you out and your crew, you pay for your friends because I'm gonna pay for you because I actually take you out. I'm gonna pay for you. I'm gonna pay for myself, and I'm getting up. Either you gonna come with me or you can stay here with your friends. I'm leaving. So and they don't and the way the world is now, you ain't doing dishes no more. They call the police on you. So y'all better go out there and scunge up a couple of bucks. Cause that's first of all, it's rude, it's embarrassing, it's obnoxious, and it's unprofessional. You don't just because you going out with a guy, you don't just assume this guy's gonna pay for everything you got going on. You don't do that. Oh, that's my eye. You don't do that. You 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 do not do that. I don't care what nobody say. She was absolutely wrong, and that was so unprofessional. And then the waitress was like, "Yeah, you might as well go on." Women stick together when it comes to idiocy, but when it's time to do something constructive, most of them don't stick together. Who knows? The man could have probably just had enough in his pocket or his account. I'm not calling him broke or nothing, but he probably just said, "You know what? I'm gonna take her out. I'm gonna go and do this, and when I drop off, I'll probably put some gas in my car, something like that." She like, no, you gotta buy my kids some steak. She missed out everything else on the menu. She went straight to the big boy section, steak. Hannah, that don't even make sense. An idiot can understand that. And she was mad. Well, I'm not saying she was mad. She was salty. I'm not gonna say she was mad, but she was salty with it. You just gonna make this man spend his hard-earned money. And steak dinners, you can go to a cheap steakhouse. It's gonna run you like $15 to $16. All depends on what kind of steak you get. Some steaks are $25. When I go out to eat, I don't go to fancy restaurants. I could, but that's just not my thing. When I go to the little places I go to eat, some steaks be like $23. Do you think I'm gonna pay $23 for me? Get what you gonna get, and then supply for your two kids? Man, them cats going, them they going to be hungry tonight. Y'all better get them ramen noodles and call it a day, or whatever you got in the refrigerator. Make sure your kids eat before I leave. Here, you know what? Here goes some food right here. I cook for y'all. Y'all want to eat this? Y'all want to eat ramen? Whatever. Mommy be back in a couple of hours. I see y'all. You don't just you don't just force yourself. No, you was late. He was like, man, I was late. He told her, I'll make up for it one day. She like, no, you finna buy my kids some steaks. Look at the power of this chick, man. No, you know nobody. He's not responsible for her kids at all. Just like she's not responsible for his kids if the shoe was on the other foot. It's not. It will never be like that. So I don't know what people get this privilege that if you taking me out, you got to take my kids out. Just like dating. You hear a lot of people say, well, if you accept me, you got to accept my kid. No, you don't. You don't. I'm sitting up here telling you, you don't have to accept them kids. I'm not saying treat the kids bad or when a mom ain't looking, you smack them upside the head. No. What I mean by accepting, you ain't got to buy that kid nothing. That is not your kid. But some of us get baited into that thing like, well, I'm dating her. I got to be with the kids too. No, them kids got a father just like she got a father. And you got a father. But we get baited into this illusion of world and love. You know, he accept me, he gotta accept my kids. No, you ain't gotta accept them kids, man. Them ain't your kids. I'm not saying disrespect the kid, but if that kid come up to you and like, hey, I know you date my mama, we cool now, but can can I borrow some money? Well, you know what? Hey, you can borrow some money, but you gonna pay me back. Well, I ain't gotta pay you back. You date my mama. Newsflash, little boy, little girl. I'm dating your mama. She don't have to pay me back, but in my case, she probably do. She ain't gotta pay me back. So it is what it is. No, you don't have to take a woman on a date and she demands that by you being late, now you gotta buy my kid two steak dinners. And it's all over the internet now. You can go in I don't know about YouTube, but you can type it up on well not type it up. All you gotta do is scroll through Facebook and TikTok. It'll pop up. It's on my page. Go take a look. He like, man, what do you mean I gotta buy your kids food? Yeah, you gotta buy them steak dinners. She says steak dinners, yo. She didn't say hamburger. She didn't say uh pancakes or tacos. She said a steak dinner with potatoes. Now everybody know steak and potatoes is like the number one meal. That's that's the big boy. That's with anybody. I'm not talking about seafood and stuff, but seafood and steak and stuff, all that stuff goes together. How you gonna pass all that? You didn't even get a steak dinner. She probably got some pancakes or a country fried steak dinner, but I gotta give your kid I gotta buy both of your kids a steak dinner. Why they do that at? Why the hell do they do that at? Because I have no idea. That that's just beyond me. So to answer the question of that, no. Just because you're dating a woman, you don't owe her kids anything. You don't even owe her anything. Only thing you owe her is respect. But some people come in through the door. Some women come in through the door. I see a lot of it on YouTube. The guys be y'all probably saw the gold digger thing. The guys be pranking the women, and they be like, "Well, you got this nice car. You gonna pay my bills?" How in God's how in God's green earth we get from trying to get your number to me paying your bills? Like, man, mom, why I gotta pay your bills? Oh, you got this nice car and all. You trying to talk to me? Okay, I'm trying to talk to you. I'm not gonna move in with you. Yeah, exactly. If he's a gentleman, he might. But believe me, I understand what you're saying. But if I'm out on a date with a woman and she showed that type of ignorance toward me, I don't care if I'm a gentleman or a thug brother. I'm not calling her no more. I'm not. You know what, sweetie? I do owe you this much. I said I was gonna take you out. We out. We're eating. So, but after this, I don't want to see you no more. Don't call me. I'm definitely not gonna call you because you're rude. If you got if you got that much to prove to yourself that I'm just gonna do this and I have no say in it with my money that I'm working, I'm taking you out, but I have to buy your kids food. No, man. No. And that's the way and that's how the world is now. Everybody we bow into the wrong masters. You know, we bow into the wrong masters. We are, and it shouldn't even be like that. If you the dating the date The dating pool didn't change so much within the last 4 years. I can say the last 4 years. It changed so fast. You gotta you gotta damn near own a yacht to take a woman out on a date now. Cause the first thing they say, not all women, the first thing they say is, well, how much you got, how much you make. Why you wanna know how much I make? I make enough for you not to be around that long. Put it that way. I make enough for me, myself, and I. I take care of my business just like you should take care of your business. But sometimes women use men as stepping stones. Women use sex as a weapon over men. And when in my teenage years, growing to a young man to adulthood, I heard a lot of women say, hey, guess what? If we sleeping together, well, not, I'm just saying in general, if we sleeping together, you got to do this or that for me. You got to do that. You ain't got to do nothing because it's sex. Sex is even exchange. It's something to make both of us feel good. So whether we like it or not. So just because I sleep with you, that don't mean I gotta get up and say, well, hill baby, here go $800 to pay your bill. What? Where? What earth is this? Dating. You're right, Aisha. Dating changed so much. Dating changed so much. People that date don't even date anymore because they scared of the reaction they gonna get now. They're like, man, you know what? It ain't even worth it. People are scared to get married now. It ain't even worth it because guess what? Newsflash: if you get married and you making somebody yourself, you got a career going, you got money coming in, you get married, by law, she can take half of what you got. Where is the love? Where? So it's just kind of crazy how it is. First of all, if you love me, you wouldn't be trying to divorce me anyway. And I'm not just picking on women. It's the same thing with the men. If you love me, we went through love and oh baby, I love you and I'm crazy. I would never do nothing to hurt you. You got to stay with me. Newsflash, come on, get these handcuffs. Let's put them on each other's wrists. Cause you staying with me. Ain't no divorces, home girl. I'm sorry. And I said this in my podcast before, and I don't want to keep repeating myself, but if I go broke, you go broke too. Simple. You're my wife. Every trial and tribulation I go through, you got to go through it with me, or I got to go through it with you. But no, guys, we do not owe women responsibility for their kids if those kids don't belong to you. Now, if you want to do it, by all means, knock yourself out. I'm not gonna hate you, and the next man ain't gonna hate you. Hey, guess what? And no, just because a man date a woman and he want to take care of her kids, don't be like, well, he stepped up. No, that's not a step up. That's a step down because he's doing something he's not supposed to do. He's taking care of another man's child. That's not a step. Oh, he stepped up and became the dick. No, no. That's why I never allowed. Now I might joke about it or something like that, but I never allowed the stepdaddy name in my world because those aren't my kids. I'm not a step to nothing. I'm not. I want to raise somebody. Guess what? If I didn't have kids, I'll go out there and make my own kids. I can't be a stepdaddy to my own kids. Now I'm not saying dating a woman, but a lot of people say dating a woman with kids is they're toxic. Me personally, I don't think that. I know a lot of great. I ain't gonna say great because nobody's great. I know a lot of good women that got kids, and hey, they do their thing. They're just the most peaceful and loving people I've ever met. They don't throw their kids in front of you like, well, you got to do this for them. You doing this for me, you got to do this for little Junior or little Lisa. No, no, they're just honest women. It's just suck. The world isn't filled with more of these sisters, but they like I always say, it is what it is. So I'm gonna agree with what everybody else was saying and saying no. That person, that brother, don't owe her kids no steak dinner. Yes, people are selfish as hell. People are so selfish now, it's ridiculous. You remember the old saying back in the 90s? Hey man, look, I can't go with her. She's a package dealer. She said, well, I'm a package deal. You do for me, you got to do for my kids. Not necessarily. A woman that stands on her own 2 feet wouldn't ask a man to step in on something he's not supposed to step in on, unless he wants to. Unless he says that out of his mouth. I can date you for 5, 6 years. Yeah, me and the kid might get close. Yeah, but I don't owe that kid, and that's what women should tell their kids. I'm dating this man. You're not. So if I come home with presents and stuff, That don't mean that don't mean he's not obligated to buy you nothing. I'm dating this man, but it's not like that because people is not bare as they should be. If people will start telling people the truth, then we'd be okay. What you say, lick money? It's not mandatory for me to take care of her kid. It's not, man, and you're absolutely right. It's not mandatory, but most women always say that. And Lito, come on, man, we come from the same hood. You probably heard the same things I said growing up. You want me, you date me, you got to date my kids too. I'm not talking about dating like relationship with kids, but you know what I'm talking about. You got to take care of them. Little Timmy can't go without no shoes. So why you didn't ask little Timmy father? Oh, me and him ain't cool like that. Guess what? Newsflash. This just in. You ain't got to be cool with the father to ask that man to buy his kids some shoes. Pick up the phone or text him. Hey, little Bobby needs some shoes, man. You know, I don't have it. He needs some shoes. If he say no, you can't be like, oh well, you know what? I knew I shouldn't have asked you anyway. I'm gonna ask my new man. That's stupid. It's it's stupid. It's very, very, very low class of you to do something like that. Like, okay, well, guess what? I ain't going back. Did you ask him? Yeah, he said no. So I'm gonna say no too. I'm sorry, I'm gonna say no too. No, because people get trapped in that web. You do one thing, now you gotta do something else. Then next, you be paying tuition. Now, if you want to, like I said earlier, if you want to do that, knock yourself out. Do it because you want to do it. Don't let no woman or no man trick you into raising their kids because you wasn't there when those kids were made. You wasn't there. So no, I'm not buying no steak dinners for nobody but me. That's it. So that's to anybody that's out there listening. I pretty much I hey that's just how it goes with me. If I'm on a date, and another thing, if you're on a date and a woman say, "Well, my kid coming too," no 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 no. You know what? Your kid can come, that's sure, but before you walk out that door and get in my car or whatever, make sure you got enough money for you and make sure you got enough money for your kid because I'm going to treat you, but I'm not going to treat him unless I want to. Money before you bro, before you got online, I was just saying that if the shoe was on the other foot, if the shoe was on the other foot, 9 times out of 10, it won't be like that. Now, if she went and picked him up, and he was like, "Well, you know what, you was late," and she was like, "You know what, I'm sorry, I was late. I'm gonna make it up to you," and I'd be like, "Oh, you want to make it up to me? Buy my kid some steak dinners." She was like, "Nigga, what you say? I'm sorry. What was that? How would I look behind him? You better go find a mama. Simple." But us as men, we got to take all of that in with we already got a bad night, and the way that night was going, it was a bad night. He probably like, man, you know what? I'm through with this. This your last meal out of me, homie. And that attitude she's gonna take with the next man. And if that don't work, she's gonna take it with the next man until she finds somebody to do it for her. And then she'll turn around and say, I got him. If he gonna do this, he gonna do something else. We've seen it. We've seen it too many times in our neighborhoods. It don't necessarily have to be us, but it's somebody we know played that role. And then when they break up, guess what? You find out, man. I ain't. It wasn't even like that anyway. She throwing this kid all up on me like his man. Well, you the fool to stay there and do it. Simple. Don't get mad at her. You can offer all you want. You can offer all you want, but it's up to us as men to stand up for ourselves. Hmm. Um. So, long story short, no, don't do it. Don't do it, guys. Please don't do it unless you want to. The next topic is now. This is a good one. Mhm. uh, Women with kids. Should a woman with kids be mad if the man she's dating? Long story short, if the man she's dating, if she got kids, should she get mad at him if he don't want to play the stepfather role? This is pretty much what I just said. Leader, Leader, I already know how you is, man. I already know. So yeah, you're right. You're definitely right. So the next topic is: should a woman be mad if a guy don't want to step up to play the role of a stepfather if you dating a woman with kids? Answer: No, she shouldn't be mad. Like what I just said earlier, this ties into what I was talking about the woman with the steak dinners with her two kids. No, I'm dating you. I don't have to. I don't. But believe me when I say this, people. If I'm dating you, I don't have to accept your child. I don't. I don't care how pretty this child is. I don't care how long the hair is. I don't care how many muscles this dude got. I don't. If I don't want to, no. I'm not saying I would disrespect the child, but I ain't gotta accept it. Now, if I want to accept it, like you know what? I'm gonna take on the role of stepdaddy. Then that's your choice. But if you get that through the door, like you got kids, bam, okay, fine, no problem. Well, my kids, I'm looking for a father figure for my kids. Well, baby, I'm sorry, I ain't the one. I'm not the one. I got my own kids. So, no, I can't do that. I can't play stepdaddy to somebody else's kid because just as fast as you can ask me, you should be able to ask him, and you should be able to take that no from him, just like you take from me. Man, for real, man, that position sucks, bro. So no, I don't like my dad used to say. He don't. I don't play second fiddle for nobody. My kids, the ones that come from me, okay, I have a right. That's my duty. But you go find that dude to fill your kids' needs. I don't celebrate holidays, but if I did, I bought you something, bought her something, and she like, well, you ain't buy my kid nothing. Oh well, da she shada. In German, that means too bad. No, go call that boy's father. But he can tell you no, and you be like, you know what? I'm gonna ask him. And if I tell you no, you get an attitude. Now, if that ain't backwards, I don't know what is, man. That's backwards as heck. So do the math on that one. It's pretty much a backwards situation. It is. And for my third topic, because that one is pretty much self-explanatory. You don't have a right to get mad at him. Well, I'm breaking up with you. Okay, well, guess what? There's plenty more fish in the sea. There's plenty more fish in the sea. I might look up and get a woman that ain't got no kids. So that means I ain't gotta worry about that. But women be expecting too much out of relationships. We're not even married. But now you want me to play stepdaddy. And if that kid asks me to do something for him and I say no, he run and tell you. And then you come snapping out on me like, why you didn't buy him that? Because I didn't want to. It's very easy. And hey, you know what? By you showing me this negative energy, I don't think I want to see you no more. Because if you stay in that situation, it's going to get worse because this is something that we all have to agree with. When it comes to dating, a woman is going to put her kids over that man, whether we like it or not. Because in a woman's eyes, kids do no wrong. They don't. I'm not saying neglect your kid, but at least try to get to know the man. The kid can say, "You know what, mama, I don't like him." She'll break up with you. It's a that thing. I mean that thing. It's a child. What the heck they know about dating if they never dated before? Some people put Some women put their kids before their husbands. No, man, you don't put your kids before your husband. Your husband is first of the household, then the children. That's why the black families are so broken up because some women put their kids on pedestals and they treat their husbands like dirt. I know it's a tough pill to swallow, people, but let's just face the facts. When God made the rules, He made the rules for a reason. Man, woman, child. But right now, it's just woman and child. It's respect. Remember, not so long ago, they had this thing on Facebook about who gets to play first. You know the comments was like so many comments saying, I wish I would feed my man first," or "My husband already know that the children come first." No, the man is the head of the household. He eats first. Them kids is not gonna die if that man get the steak before they do, or he get the chicken before they do. No, you don't do that. That's just how it goes. I don't make up these rules. None of us on here makes up these rules. So if you got a kid and this man don't want to step up to be a stepdaddy, don't get mad at that man. You should be woman enough to say, well, you know what? Hey, these are my kids. I got to take care of these kids for myself. You can't make that man do something he don't want to do. And he be like, oh my God, I gotta, man, I took her in as my daughter. Your choice, fine. If that's your choice, then that's your choice. Do what you want to do, but don't let nobody bait you into doing something you don't want to do. They ain't even got to. And that's just with kids. That's with anything. Don't let nobody sucker you into doing nothing. And this is funny because when I was reading when I was reading the second topic, another topic came in, and this topic is actually, should a straight man date a transgender woman? Because if you look on YouTube, you type it up, it's a long list of transgender women saying men should date us. And by her saying men, I don't think she's talking about gay men. She's talking about straight men because they say we have so much more to offer. Now, it's getting to the fact that transgender women are bashing real women. Didn't I tell y'all that was going to happen? Go check it out on YouTube. We can treat y'all better. We don't come with attitudes. That's doing nothing but saying the same thing straight men said about women, but now you got the trans women saying the same thing about women. So now it's gonna be a toss up in the air. But if a straight woman say, I'm gonna give y'all some reasons why you shouldn't date a trans woman, then you're a homophobe. You're a bigot. You're hating. You're hating against the LGBTQ community. No, you're not, because just as quick as they can shovel their crap down somebody's throat, I can shovel my crap down somebody's throat too. See, when I started this podcast thing, when I first started PTS, no, actually it was before PTS. It was I didn't even have a name for it, but I was doing stuff before Facebook was even thought of. I just never recorded, and I mean I recorded, but I never put it out. And God forbid if I find that freaking SD drive. A couple of them, I know a couple of them is gone now, but I've been doing this stuff for years. See, the thing is, when I started this, I already knew there was gonna be smoke, and I'm the type of guy I don't want no smoke out of nobody. I'm just a guy that likes to tell his part of the story. I know the consequences I'm taking. I know this, but you shouldn't get mad at somebody for expressing their freedom, freedom of choice. But I'm sorry, freedom of choice, freedom of speech. But that only goes so far now. You can't say what you want to say. You can't. But back to what I was saying. No, N O spells no. Straight men should not want to date a transgender woman because that's still a man, whether we like it or not. I don't care about science. I don't care about biology. I don't care about what they say. They come up with a new thing. No, God only made two type of being. That's a woman and a man. If you're born with a vagina, that means you're a woman. If you're born with a penis, that means you're a man. You can get all the surgery you want. You can get it all removed and put the other parts on it. You were born a man. So you're still a man. Because one thing they can't do, you can get sex changes and all that stuff. You can't change DNA. Remember a while ago in one of my I think it was PTSD or was it this? I can't remember. But remember I said if I was a transgender back in 1802 and I died, just died, regular causes, got sick or whatever, and I passed away, and somebody, and I was famous. I was a famous transgender, famous. I mean, real famous. And somebody wanted to know what was I, and they were like, "Well, he was a woman. He was actually a she." And somebody dig up my bones 80 something years later. They dig them up and put them in the lab and run tests, and that DNA structure in my bones. They're gonna like, "Hey, he was a man." So You can't change what God made you. And I was watching it earlier, and it was a transgender woman, and she was saying, God knew what I was gonna be. So you see, these are the little inklings and trinkets that they throw in to say God is okay with this. Come on now, think about it, people. Think about it. Yes, God know what you're gonna be before your life is mapped out, but there's this thing He gave us called freedom of choice. Yes, He knew that you was gonna have a turn in life, but He wanted to make sure you know. So you know what? Go ahead, go ahead. And all it is, well, I knew I meant to be something, and you know they all got the same. I'm not gonna call it an excuse. They all got the same story. If it's so good and proud to be like that, why nobody start off and say, I had a normal life. I was happy with what I am. I just wanted to see what was on the other side. All of them say the same thing. I was depressed. I was sad in my life. I wasn't happy with myself. But nobody catches on to that. So if you sad, depressed, and not happy with yourself, yeah, you're gonna experience other things. So you got to change your whole life to be something that you didn't come in this world. And you can't use hermaphrodites because that vaguely happens. It's not like a whole nation of hermaphrodites out there, like billions of them. No, that's like a very little percentage. You do it because you want to. Well, when I was younger, I just felt that I wanted to be a woman. That's hey, look, to each his own. That's your life. Just blame it on yourself. Don't go blame it on other people. Don't blame it on God. Say, well, God made me like this. No, he's probably sitting up there shaking his head like, come on, man, what you talking about? Michael, Gabriel, come here, listen to this. Somebody come listen to this, man. Let's just be honest. I have no beef with straight people. I have no beef with gay people. I have no beef with queer people, however you want to call them, the LG. I ain't got no beef with none of them cats. None of them. I respect them just like I respect my fellow man. I will hold a conversation with a gay guy just like I will hold a conversation with a straight guy. But one thing about me, I will tell the truth if they ask me a question. I don't sugarcoat crap. I'm not gonna say no, well, hey, I can't just no, I'm not gonna do that. So you can hate me, you can boo me. Hey, look, that's just the way life is. God made me to be a certain kind of way, just like He made everybody else to be certain kind of ways. I don't partake in anything, and I'm a sinner just like the next man is. But that don't mean I have to agree with your sin that you go through. I'm trying to get mine together, but if I'm agreeing with you, I'm right back at freaking square one. So no. So now, why is all this stuff being broadcast now? Go type it up on YouTube. This is 10 reasons or 5 reasons that men should date transgender women. That's like a man dating a man. Now, if you of that world, if you gay or whatever, then by all means, that's your life, that's your life. But don't try to put your poison in my mind. Well, do look like a woman. No, that's still a man. By according to the laws of the Lord, that's still a man. Or that's still a woman. So come on, man. Let's. I really hope y'all hear me on this. And then they want to try to put science in it. If you going to put science in something, on getting stuff put on your body that don't supposed to be there, something's wrong with you. You was born with a penis, but you got old and said, you know what? I'm not comfortable in this. I want to be. I want to have what she got. And now they trying to change pronouns and stuff. And come on, man. Look, the handwriting is on the wall. There's going to be a time if you call a transsexual woman a man, they're going to lock you up. They're trying to pass that law now. So you have to label them what they want you to label them. Me, I can't do it. I'm sorry. But no, I'm no. You don't call me a he. You call me a she. Now, if I know you're a man, I'm not gonna feed up on him like, dude, you know you're a man, right? No, that's wrong. I wouldn't do that. But if we're talking and I can see that you got man ways and you're a man and you have an Adam's apple and I'm like, man, you crazy. Don't get mad at me. It's gonna take some time. How dare you call me that? Hey, look, I call him as I see him. I call him as I see him. But everybody's in an uproar now. That you got to call him a she. You got to call her a he, and they'll get mad at you. I'm not a woman. I'm not a man. I'm a woman now. You can't change what you are. Leopards don't change their spots. Monkeys actually hang out in trees. If you playing around in a lion's den, 9 times out of 10, he's going to eat you because what? He's a lion. That's what he do. He's not gonna, and if he's hungry, he's not gonna say, "Well, I don't eat meat." He's gonna kill you in probably a very profound and nasty way. So no, don't feed into this. We got to stick with our guns to this thing, man. Because in the end, we all gonna need God, whether we like it or not. That goes for gay and straight. It goes for gay and straight. So if you're gay, hey, that's your thing. You gotta, and guess what? You gotta answer to the same God I gotta answer to. All of us gotta answer to him. He's got the last say. And you know when people say, "Oh, you can't judge me," I don't have to judge you. I'm just telling you what the judge is gonna say himself. I can't judge you. I don't have that power. I'm not a preacher. I'm none of that. I don't have the power to judge anybody on this earth. I can't. We all know when we're doing wrong. All of us, whether we like it or not. Now we can take it or we can learn from it. Hey, I was wrong for that. 9 out of 10, I might not want to do it again, but you got a lot of fools out there. I got away with it once, I'll do it again. When you get caught, you rob the bank, you got away with it. Just take the money and be comfortable with what you got. But no, guess what? I got to do it again. There's a good chance you might get killed in a shootout from the police, or there's a good chance they might lock you up for 15, 20 years. So I knew the risk I was taking when I did this. But the truth has to be told because everybody's so much in an uproar now. I've never thought I would live to see these days, but I'm in these days just like y'all are. I'm in these same days, man. In the exact same days. They speak upon this stuff as if they already got the freaking answers. No, nobody know what God is gonna do. He ain't came down and told nobody yesterday that, you know what, hey, I'm gonna do this. No. He give us Bibles to read and we gotta take it, or if we don't want to accept it, hey, that's on you. You ain't gotta accept it. I'm not saying go out there and gay bash anybody. I don't promote violence. That's something I don't do. But hey, guess what? It don't hurt to tell somebody the truth. Well, hey, what do you think about homosexuality and stuff like that? Well, do you really want to know the truth? Yeah, well, blah blah this that or blah blah this that. How dare you say that you're a homophobe? How can I be a homophobe? That means I'm scared of you. If it ain't thunder, if it ain't lightning, or if it ain't a shootout, I highly doubt that I'm scared of you because I'm scared of thunder and lightning. Everybody know that. Oh, you're a homophobe. Why I gotta be a homophobe? Because I don't go with the line of work you do. So now I'm a homophobe. Interesting. And you know they're quick to call you that. You don't have to accept nothing you don't want to accept, people. And that goes from the pulpit to the door. If you don't want to accept it and you feel that it's been a bad situation for you, whether a gay person said, whether a straight person said, whether anybody said, and you feel that it's not a right thing to do, don't go with it. Because all of us got to be judged. And yes, God will judge you on the stupid choices that you make. You ain't got to go along with nothing. And I mean absolutely nothing. If you want to believe in God, believe in Him. If you don't. That's on you. You see, that's one thing about the beauty of the Lord. He gave us all freedom of choice. He ain't coming down from heaven and saying, "Hey, you better do what I say." No, He's gonna, "Hey, you gonna do it or you're not." That's all He's gonna say. But at the end, somebody gotta have a final answer. So, word to the wise: let nobody push you into something you don't want to do. That's why I'm a strong believer that I will never believe in peer pressure because peer pressure is making you do something you don't want to do. I went to school just like everybody else. I was a kid just like everybody else. Nobody never forced me to, well, you know what, hey, go shoot this person. And I know gangbangers. Grew up with a lot of them. Go shoot this person or go steal on that. No, I'm not doing that, man. Because I'm strong minded. I'm strong minded. But when you get that When you get them people in your head, them little demons in your head, you bound to do anything. That's why all these brothers out here killing each other because they have no training. If I'm driving in the car with some thugs, and they like, man, look, man, forget this, man. We finna go shoot these dudes. No, 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 no. Guess what, homie? Pull over. Let me out the car. Cause guess what? All of us can go to jail. One of us got to be out here to tell the story. I'm not finna go to jail for nobody, and I mean nobody. But we're so easily corrupted by stupidity. Oh, I was in the car, but I didn't shoot. Guess what? You probably you going to jail too, cause you're an accessory. Weak-minded people, not knowing that you. Come on, we all know how it is. We all know how it go. I'll be the one. I'll be the one. Out of all of that, I'll be the one to get caught. That's just how it goes. The police chasing me. Everybody jumping over fences. I can't jump over the fence, and I fall, trip and fall. Now I'm caught. So when they catch me, now I got to squill off on my boys because everybody's tough as nails until they get to the police station or in front of the judge. That's what they call them police. They know what they're doing. When they sit you down and be like, hey, we found the body over there. You shot this dude up and the bullets back the gun you had. You got to do 40 years. Oh, no, man, I can't do 40 years. Well, you better give us something. Who was all with you? That's how cats go down. Because in this world, you ain't got no friends, man. There's no friends in this world. People will rat you out in a second over stuff you ain't even had nothing to do with. People will come to your house to scope your house out and send people over the perfect example. There was this thing on Facebook. This black girl. Her and this white girl were friends. They was on the porch. And the caption was this. The black girl was trying to set the white girl up to rob them. She's on the porch and she see these three dudes walk up. The white girl ran in the house. They come run right on the porch trying to get in the house, and they didn't even touch the other girl. She just sitting there, and they walked off the porch, and she walked right behind them. You ain't got no friends, man. Your own friends will try to set you up and kill you because they want what you got. Now they probably would have broken her house. They probably would have killed her. Who knows? They probably would have robbed her. Anybody who was in the house, they probably would have killed them too. But this is the world we live in because we're so easily persuaded and convinced that evil is good. Oh, I can do this. I ain't gonna get away with it. I mean, I can do this. I'm gonna get away with it. No, you're not. It's just a matter of time before everybody's caught. Don't ever forget that. And if you got away with it, that's your cue to just don't do it no more. So this transgender thing is out of control, man. It's out of control. Now you got the transgender women going against the real women. They're actually crapping on black women, and it don't matter any straight woman. They crapping on them now because what they're saying now, I can treat a man better than you can because I'm a man that I transformed over to a woman, so I know how a man is want to be treated. Remember, before all the stuff became public, and before it all got all, I'm not gonna say out of hand, before it got real big than what it was. Remember, lesbian women were saying the same thing. Now the shoe's on the other foot. How many women you know went to be lesbians because what do they say? A woman know how to make another woman feel. Now the men are saying that about now the trans men are saying it about the straight men. You see how history repeats itself? And pretty much nobody even bothered to look at it like that. But don't take my word for it. Go pull it up on YouTube. It's so many now. They're downing women because they say trans women, can treat a man better than a regular woman because they know how to treat a man. Uh, some of the examples, guess what? We ain't got no periods. We can't get pregnant. Most men don't want babies, so if we get fixed, we can do what we want to do. If that ain't crazy, I don't know what is. It's crazy. Remember what I always said, and I've been saying this for years. To today, December 17th, I think 20th. I'm way off. December 20th. Um, the trick was to always get God out the picture. Remember, I used to say that a while ago on PTSD and stuff, and the shows I did before PTSD. The trick was to always get God out the picture because if you get God out the picture, people will fall for anything because these people don't think they're doing any wrong. God didn't give you that choice. You made that choice up on your own. If you want to be comfortable in another skin, that's your choice because God don't make mistakes. He controls the birth. He know exactly what you're going to be. He know exactly what we're going to be. Either you're going to be a boy or you're going to be a girl. Born in sin, shaped in iniquity. Simple as that. It's real simple. All this stuff was already preordained before all of us. And it's here. It's right here in our faces, people. It's right here. That's why they can say anything. Remember when it first came out, the LGBT people were starting to come out years ago, 30, 40, 50 years ago. Pull what up? I have no idea what you're talking about. And remember, they said, "Hey, we just want equal rights. We want to be considered human like everybody else." They said, "Okay." They gave it to them. Now look at back there and look at what's happening now. These people got more rights than everybody else because when you give people an inch, they want to take a mile. If we got through with this, now we can get through with that. And remember what I said a couple of podcasts ago. It's forbidden to say prayer in church, but you can get a drag queen to teach your kids. Come on now, think about it. When I was growing up, we used to pray in school. We did. In my grammar school, my teacher used to help with, you know what? Let's pray we're going to have a good day today. Those days are gone. But you can let them in to teach your kids that, hey, you know what? It's okay to be what you want to be. That means all that's saying is this: parents, we have no control over our children anymore because we're supposed to agree with everything they say. Well, mama, well, dad, I've been giving it some thought, and I like boys, and this is a guy talking, and when the mother and the parent will say, well, you know what? I'ma support you. Mm, that's not going to happen in my city. I'm sorry, it's not because I always said that's what you want to do it. That's for you and your household. But I'm more scared of God than what a man or woman will have to say to me. Y'all can call me what y'all want to call me, but if he say no, I'm rolling with the big guy. That's just how it go. Planes, cut and dry. You can hang it up on a wall, Polaroid, frame it. That's just how I am. I don't.